You might have heard that Mike Trout is Mickey Mantle on two good legs. How true is that, though? They are very similar players who are in the conversation for the best player of their generation, but how well do they stack up against one another? Let's consider a few aspects of being a great ball player and determine who comes out on top. Before anything else, though, we should get an idea of who these players are before we compare. Starting with Mantle, he was a switch-hitting center fielder for the New York Yankees. He debuted at age 19, and notable awards include 3 MVPs, a Triple Crown, 16 All-Star seasons, and a Gold Glove. Now here's Trout. Trout bats righty and is the current center fielder for the Los Angeles Angels. He also debuted at age 19 and has since collected 3 MVPs, 9 Silver Sluggers, 10 All-Star selections, and a Rookie of the Year award. Both of these guys have pretty impressive trophy cabinets, but awards aren't really the best way we can analyze production. For round 1, let's examine who comes out as a better hitter. Also, to make it fair, we'll be looking at career statistics through age 31, as that's the current age of Mike Trout. Starting off simple with batting average, Mantle has a slight edge. At 31, he's hitting .309 over Trout's .303. Mantle's ability to hit from both sides of the plate allowed him to always be facing a favorable opponent. Mantle also hammered 419 home runs compared to Trout's 353. But we can do better than just looking at batting average and home runs. Trout has the higher isolated slugging, or ISO, against Mantle's .273. ISO measures the power of a hitter by only taking extra base hits and the type of extra base hit into account. Trout wins here as he's been able to mash the ball a little harder than Mantle. Trout also has more intentional walks than Mantle, showing that the league feared him a little more. However, shifting your point of view shows that Mantle clearly wins this round. He's got a better on-base percentage, OPS, and strikeout-to-walk ratio than Trout does. Combined with his switch-hitting ability, he's my pick for the better hitter. Not only were both of these sluggers good with the lumber, they were also great in the field. Now, fielding can be tricky to quantify in itself, let alone between generations. There is one stat that can help though, and it's called our fielding, or runs from fielding. This stat tells us how many runs better the player you're looking at was over the average player playing his position. Basically, the further from zero this stat is, the better. Taking a look shows that Trout has -9 runs from fielding, while Mantle has +5 runs from fielding, meaning Mantle saved more runs than Trout did. While our fielding can steer us in the right direction, thinking carefully about Trout and Mantle's performances in the time that they've played in can get us a bit closer. My conclusion is, while Trout has been able to make some amazing plays out in center field over his Hall of Fame career, Mantle wins again for 2 reasons. First, Mantle had more ground to cover in his home ballpark of Yankee Stadium, as it was 408 feet out to the center field wall, whereas in Angel Stadium, it's only 396 feet out to center. Second, as we'll come to find out soon, Mantle dealt with injuries to his legs for all of his career. However, he was still able to persevere through the pain and play the premier outfield position. So mark another one down for Mantle as he takes a 2-0 lead over Trout. Next up is base running. While stealing wasn't prioritized at the time Mantle played, Mantle was an outlier and heralded as the fastest man to first. Legend has it that he was once timed from home plate to first base at 3.1 seconds, though some modern broadcasters believe it to be closer to 3.5 seconds, as 3.1 is simply absurd. For some perspective, the fastest home to first time in 2023 is owned by Diamondbacks left fielder Corbin Carroll, and he's got a time of 4.06 seconds. I seriously refute the idea that he was able to run that fast, coupled with the injuries that he dealt with. But 3.5 is the most realistic number that I've been able to find, so that's what we're going with. But let's talk about stolen bases, and Trout beats Mantle with 204 stolen bases compared to Mantle's 134. His success rate is also higher at 85% over Mantle's 80%. Because of this, I'm giving Trout the win here despite Mantle's mythical speed. It's time to talk about health, and also time to address Mantle's injuries that I've been hinting at. Unfortunately, injuries are a large part of Mantle's legacy. In high school, while playing football, he suffered a kick in the shin that soon developed into osteomyelitis, a bone disease that plagued Mickey Mantle for all of his career. Of course, the injury that would really affect Mantle was the tearing of cartilage in his right knee after tripping over a drainpipe in the 1951 World Series. Between major injuries to both of his knees and his right shoulder, it was a miracle that he was even able to play professional baseball, let alone at the level he did. On the other hand, Trout has been relatively healthy and has had a few injuries causing him to miss time, including a broken thumb and a torn calf that caused him to miss most of the 2021 season. It would be amiss to not mention his contravertebral dysfunction diagnosis, a rare back condition that Trout will have to monitor for the rest of his career. Thankfully, though, it shouldn't be too debilitating. While being hurt isn't something that either player can control, Mike Trout does have a better record of being healthy. All evened up at 2-2, it'll be down to the final category, overall value. Both of these players have been incredibly valuable to the game of baseball, becoming role models for many aspiring young players across different generations. And if we want to quantify value, our best bet is WAR, or wins above replacement. By age 31, Mickey Mantle has 93.7 WAR compared to Mike Trout, who has 83. Therefore, I'd have to go with Mantle. Between the switch hitting, willingness to play hard and through pain, and fielding ability, Mantle is the obvious pick for me. He's a generational talent and widely considered the best switch hitter of all time. Frankly, it's a statement that Trout was even able to keep up with Mantle, as Mantle's stats are so godlike. But the answer to, is Mike Trout better than Mickey Mantle, would have to be no. Mantle's stats hold up over time, and there's a reason why he's respected as one of the best players to ever live. In the coming years, though, Trout has an extremely fair chance to pass him up on many of his stats, as he'll most likely play longer than Mantle did. But there we have it, Mickey Mantle is still better than Mike Trout. Thanks for watching all!